Hi there, it's Kathy House, Be Creative with Kathy. And in today's video, we'll make a cute little simple card like this. I made this at Stampin' Up's World Card Making Day. It was well, not even last week, a weekend before. But anyway, it's a cute, simple card. And I learned a little bit about our punches that I thought maybe I would share with you. And I don't know, I'd say I necessarily learned a little bit, but it was a refresher that I had learned a long time ago. And sometimes we all need those little refreshing tips. And so I'm going to try, let's see if I can get rid of some glare here too, to try to give you those in today's video. So we're going to make this card right here. We're going to use the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle. It's a punch bundle. This is an early release, so this will be in January's 2024, believe it or not, mini catalog. But you can get this now online at stampinup.com. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, and I'll put the link on my blog. So you can click on the link below to go to my blog, and that'll take you straight to my store where you can purchase the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle. Hope all that made sense. Also on my blog, I'll have the measurements for the card and all the other supplies I used. Although, well, just ink colors and gems and stuff. But let's go ahead and get started. So I have a bunch of scraps of paper here. Now my card base is going to be just thick, basic white. It's a half sheet of cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, and then I've scored it here at 4 1/4. So we have a nice, simple card base here. And then I just dawned on me, I hope I didn't cut down my, and I did. So I want to do another layer on here. Let me grab my paper trimmer. And I have another scrap here that I am going to cut at 5 1/4. Got to go this way. 5 1/4 by 4, because I want another layer on my card base too. And I just realized I cut that layer down for a scrap for another thing that we're going to need. Okay, so then I have just a plain old, just a standard basic white that's going to be like layered on layered. I love the white on white effect and how it looks. So we needed that piece too. I'm going to set that aside for now. And then I have scraps here of a bunch of the new core color collection. Now, if you're new to Stampin' Up, we just revamped, we as in them, revamped our color collection, and we have 11 new colors. So this is what they all look like. This is the set of markers you can get that has all 11 new colors in it. You can find all of this if you're interested in just getting the new color of the color cores. You can find them on 125 of our catalog, or just search new core colors on the online store, and you can find them all there too. But it's a really nice, pretty new set of colors. As we go, I'll show you those. But let me show you my punch thing first. So when we punch for my card here, these three here are exactly 1/2 of the punch. And you can see here how I've marked my punch where it's 1/2. So then now I just have to slip my paper in there at those lines, and I can get exactly 1/2 of a punch, right, if I do it right. So let me show you how you can get those lines. Well, first of all, let me tell you this. Let me get some more light so you can see. If you have good eyes, which I do not, on our punches, you can see this little circle in the center here. You could find 1/2 of the circle, and that would work. There's also dents in the punch right here that you could find 1/2 that way too. Now, with my old eyes or my bad eyes, I can't see that when I have the paper in there, so I really like the little black marks. Same thing up here. There's a little dent here that if you just want 1/2, you could just get 1/2 of that punch. But let me show you how as they showed us or reminded me again. So I got a Post-it note here, and I'm going to just punch out that shape in the Post-it note, making sure that I get some of the sticky on the punch part, if that makes sense, because this isn't one of those sticky all over kind of Post-it notes. In fact, this is a cheap Dollar Tree. There we go. Got it out of my punch. And then I'm going to take this, making sure that sticky, when you fold it, is on the outside, and that's not that important, but I'm going to fold it in half this way, and then I'm going to turn and fold it in half this way. So now all I've done is find the center of my punch piece, right? So far so good. Then I'm going to just take a piece of cardstock here and I'm going to lay that on there, and then just with a pencil, well, let me try to at least get it somewhat straight, and I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. I think this is this is a better scrap. Come on, Kathy. There we go. I'm going to lay this on my scrap of white cardstock here and just trace around that punched image there that we have just punched out. And really, you can do this with all of your punches. We did the same thing with the circle punch, and I'll show you the card that we did the circle punch with. Then you're going to fold it up like this, and then you're going to make that line here, kind of, so it goes straight this way, not at a curve, this way. And then fold it this way and make the curve. Now we found the center point here too, right? And we have those center lines that go across. Let me make sure this one's more straight. This one's really bad. Let me fix this one. That's not a good example at all. There we go. Then you can take this piece and you set it in your punch. And then you know when you have, you can see that in there, right? It's all in there with my pencil marks. And I have that. So it's in my punch. Yeah. Then I just took a Sharpie fine tip marker and put a little line up at where those marks are. Now you have to make sure, because I don't think my pencil lines are in my mark or in my punch just right where I want them, and that way my lines would line up. But that's how you could find out where the center of your punches is and then mark them that way, or where the half point mark of your punches. I hope all that makes sense. It helped me when I did it. So let's go ahead with the card now. So in 3 or 2 of these, I'm going to punch a half of a blue. This is that afternoon azure afternoon. I can't get the new in color or the new core colors right yet. This is lemon lime twist. Oops, and that was the wrong one. We want the full one, or no, more than half is what we want on that one. We'll kind of cut it down to size, and then we want a half of the berry burst. Like that. So then we have those 3 pieces, and then I should have cut this down. I'm going to cut this down to about 1 centimeter. That's how big I want this piece here. So I'm going to cut those down. Just a little strip here. And then I'm going to put that through my punch, and then it'll be the right size when I go to add it to my card. There we go. And let's do the same thing with the yellow one here. And this is Bubble Bath, and this is lemon. I don't remember the name of this color either. Look, my marker's right here. Lemon Lolly. I can never get that one right for some reason or another. And look, I totally cut that crooked. I'm going to do it again and make sure that my paper is up against the top of my trimmer. So this time I get it straight. There, that's better. Okay, no more talking and cutting at the same time. I need to focus on what I'm doing here. All right, I have all my pieces now. I'm going to do the same thing with that lemon lolly. I'm going to come across, and then so I get it straight, I'm using those little lines on my punch again, and that way I know that it's straight when I punch it that way. Okay, now we have all of our little pieces. Now we need to do some stamping. I'm going to bring in my Pierce mat here and a piece of scratch paper. That one's terrible. Let me find a fresh one. Here we go. Just to protect my mat. And we're going to stamp all the different colors on those with this stamp here. Now let me warn you, this stamp is a really sensitive stamp because it's those itty bitty little dots that go all the way around. And so first of all, I want to make sure that my stamp holds the shape of the punch. So I'm going to set it down on some paper like this so that it doesn't, because if you put it on the block this way, you could see how it's not the right size anymore. But if you set it down here, let it get its shape, and then put it on your block, it's going to match up with your punch perfectly. Let's start with that blue and this piece here. You could also stamp it and then punch it, but one doesn't matter. I might get my head in the camera though. And then I'm going to just very gently, making sure that my ink pad is nice and juicy, I'm going to apply very little pressure on my paper so I don't smash those little dots. Can you even see them there? See how fine they are? And now I got a little heavy-handed on this side, but you can see how the dots still look okay. Let's clean our stamp, or my stamp here real quick. I'm going to just use my Stampin' Scrub, put a little bit of cleaner on there, and I'm only using the corner of it, so I'm not even paying attention to which is the wet side. I might need to get some more Stampin' Mist. I'm going to clean my stamp real quick here. And then let's do that Berry Burst one. Ink that up again, making sure that my ink pad is really happy and has a lot of ink on there so I don't apply a lot of pressure when I stamp it down here on my cardstock. And looky there, did pretty good on that one too. Okay, last one. Let's clean this one now. And then do that lemon lime twist. And then look, you have that fine, but to make sure you don't add too much pressure when you make this. Let's leave this out. Now we're going to add those little flowers at the bottom. But first I want to make sure that this is the right size. So let's put all this aside and bring in a scrap of white. Now let me show you one more thing that maybe you haven't seen in a while. When you have a punch like this, now this is, I think this is 6 inches this way, but I know it's 2 1/4 this way. So you can take your paper, you can slide it through this way and then slide it through the punch like this. And then you could punch here and then slide it back out, maybe, and punch down here. Does that make sense? And you'd get a really long tag by using your punches that way. Well, really, you'd punch it this way. You'd punch it this way, and then you'd insert it down here and punch it the other way. Does that make? And you'd punch it so you have a really long tag to make that. So you can do that with your punches. And this punch takes a 2 1/4 piece of paper. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to just punch out a couple of these. Oh, and then we need one more for the center. This is the one we're going to stamp on. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp our Let's Eat Cake on here in that Azure Afternoon. I'm going to put that on a block. And I'm going to stamp it toward the bottom so we can have the green. And let me practice once here. Okay. When you know on my other one, I might have used a darker ink. That looks like it's almost blueberry. There we go. In fact, let's go ahead and make it blueberry. I don't have my blueberry ink pad here, but I do have, and it's Bushelberry. Let me see what it is. Blueberry Bushel. I'm going to use this marker instead because I don't have my ink pad. So I'm going to take my marker, and on the side of the brush tip, I'm going to just ink up that stamp. Now you can do this with Stampin' Write markers. You cannot do this with Stampin' Blends. Stampin' Blends would be like just coloring your ink or coloring your rubber, and it would just be stained forever. This way, with the Stampin' Write markers that have the same ink in them as an ink pad, they can work as an ink pad. So really, I could have even colored the cake one color and the Let's Eat another color and done something like that. But since I wasn't prepared and it was a last minute idea, and I'm going to test it one time. You got to do a little bit of Darth Vader to get the ink moist again. And now let's do it one more time, and then I'll stamp it on my paper. But I had to test it here on my scratch paper to make sure I was happy with what it looked like. Plus, when you have photopolymer stamps like this, well, any stamp, I think when you have it inked the first time, sometimes you don't get a good color cover, so you should always test it on your scratch paper and then do it the second time on your cardstock. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now let's go ahead and stamp it down here at the bottom, a little Darth Vader, just to moisten that ink. And then down here toward the bottom, I'm going to just stamp that down. Let that ink sink in. Hold it down there for a while. And then look, you get that nice vibrant blue compared to this lighter blue that we did the first time. I like the darker. I always like my sentiments in a dark blue. Okay, let's set that aside for now. Let's stamp again on these little things. I'm going to put those little flowers here. Another part of the stamp set. Let me, if I can pick it up, I am. Let's see, this little flower right here. We'll put him on a block. And then with that berry burst. Now when I stamp something like this, I want to stamp 5 little flowers along the bottom of this half of a punch. So I'm going to start first of all in the center, and then I'm going to go on the edge and on the edge, and then I'll fill it in the center this way, and that's how I make sure I get those 5 little flowers in there. Okay, once again, we got to clean our stamp. I'm going to just use the corner here of my Stampin' Scrub. And let's do the same thing to that blue. I'm going to make sure my little stamp is clean. Yep, he is. And do the same thing. So I'm going to stamp in the center, and then I'm going to stamp on the edge and on this edge. Whoops. And then get that center here. Whoops, I missed that one. Probably because usually I can look over, and on a video I have to look this way and it's harder to see. But you can get your little flowers on there better if you do it that way. On this green one, maybe I'll get my head in the camera. So here I want to make this a little bit bigger than what this is, just because it's the focal point in the center of our card. However, I think that's just a little bit too big, so I'm going to cut this piece down just a little. I wanted a little bit more than half, but I think I went hog wild and got too much. So I'm going to just cut off, let's just say about that much. And I'm setting up the line or the side of my punch, the side of my trimmer. Let's see if that's better, if that's enough. So it looks more like, yep, I think that looks good. Now the center of it is going to be just a little bit bigger than what the 2 ends are. Okay, let's clean our little stamp here again and put the little flowers on our lemon lime twist piece. Check to make sure I got all the ink off and it's clean. Yes, it is. And now this time I'll get my head in the camera and try to get it a little bit lined up better. And then here. There we go. Look how well you do when you get your head over the top and in the camera. All right, let's go ahead and put our card together now. We have all of our pieces and parts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these half punches, and I'm going to put them right here on top of those extra white ones that we have, like this. And same thing with that blue. Just like that. And then using a little bit of liquid glue. And I think this is a brand new one. He's going to be very happy and come out fast. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the paper under those punch dart, I guess we'll call them. They're those punch pieces. And this way, when I lay my little yellow piece there, which fits perfect because we use the punch to punch it out, then I don't have glue everywhere. It's right where I want it. So let's do the same thing to this piece. Just a little tiny strip of glue down there, and then lay my little strip of pink like that. Alrighty, then for this piece, I'm going to take dimensionals. Let's see if I can find some here. Oh, a brand new pack of dimensionals. And I'm going to lay this atop here. And then I'm going to hold those together with dimensionals. Make sure I got it so I can see all my words or my letters. And then just put a dimensional here, a dimensional here. And then I'm going to put it like this. Now I have that piece already. Bring in our card base. And that layer of white. Yeah, let's do this piece. So this one, I want to line up that pink line here all the way at the top. So I'm going to just take a little bit of tape runner here and lay that. Try to get it centered and straight like this now. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Maybe a little bit this way. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this one at the bottom. And try to get them lined up so they're at least somewhat straight. You really, you probably can't tell. I'm sure mine wasn't perfect. I'm not a perfectionist at all. Okay, and then bring a piece of or a pair of paper snips, and we're going to trim that off here. So that way, if you got, excuse me, adhesive where you don't need it, and it's sticky down here, it doesn't matter because we're going to cut that off, and then make it look like that. There we go. So let's go ahead and put this on our card. I'm going to use dimensionals again. Where did I put them? Here they are. Well, and then set this here. So it's centered. You have that nice white on white layer. Take the dimensionals off of this. And then lay this right there in the center. Now, depending on how big you made this piece, it might cover up some more. I think, look, I might have cut these a little bit bigger. These are 1 centimeter, and I can't remember what these are. So I cut those a little bit bigger, but look how cute that card is. Now, another product that goes with those new core colors are the Tinsel Gem 4-packs. And it looks like this because it has the 4 colors on there. And we're going to take those and add them to the colors that they match with. So we're going to just put a little gem here. And these, I believe, I might have to look again and see, but these are Berry Burst is what we used here. Lemon Lime Twist is what we used here. I think these are Blueberry Bushel, which matches the ink that we used here, but it goes really well with the Afternoon Azure. Let's put that there. And then one here. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can put another one here. Although, look, you can see on this card I used even more. So it doesn't really matter. You do the gems just the way you like. But anyway, Lemon Lime Twist, Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, and then this is supposed to be the, oh shoot, I'm not going to come up with that color. Let me see what that color is called. Pretty Peacock. There we go. I think that's what the gems. Let's look and make sure so I don't tear you the wrong way. Go over to the bling here. It's right here. Yep. Pretty Peacock, Blueberry Bushel, Berry Burst, and Lemon Lime Twist. That's what these gems here are. But there you go. That's what I have for you. That's another way to use those punches and how to mark your punches so you can find the center. Let me show you the 2 other cards we made at card making day with Stampin' Up. It was just an online event. It was really fun to learn and see new tips and tricks they gave us. On this one, these 3 items are watercolor paper, and we just stamped on them, and then just, well, these ones we did. We stamped on them and then just smeared the ink around with a watercolor or water painter. There you go. This one we stamped, and then we added some of the green on top of the pecan pie ink that was there. And this one we just really we die cut it out, and then we just added the color. But that was a fun card to make. That's a little bit different. I love these pieces as the background. If you don't know, These are vases that's in the die set. So this is a vase too, and we used it a little bit different. I thought that was a great card. And then the last card, we did the same thing with the punch here. We just punched out half a circle. Now the stripes on here, I used with just taking the marker and just putting a line on there with the brush tip and made these two pieces. And like I said, we cut them in half, punched them in half, and then had them there. This is a cute banner. I'll do this banner in a video sometime and show you how to do that cute banner there. But that was another card we did. So there you go. There's my card for today. If you need the measurements, they'll be on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. Give me a few minutes after I finish the video to go get those posted and the supplies that I used. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you back here next Monday. Bye-bye.